I find macro photography to be a very fun genre of photography. It just enables you to look at the world in a whole different way, to appreciate aspects that you've, you know, gone your whole life without looking at for any period of time. Now, when you combine macro photography and abstract photography, you open up a whole new world of creativity, and the possibilities are just endless. Anything around you could be, a macro abstract photo. You just have to take the initiative to actually photograph it in that way. So what I'm showing here is a few different macro images. Some are abstract, some are just really close-up images. But when you go close up into anything, it close up enough, it does kind of become abstract. But yeah, these are photos that I've submitted to the stock agencies that have become repeated sellers for me, consistent sales generated from these images. So this first one you're looking at is something that's fairly common in photography, and it's just light streaks. You basically drag your shutter, meaning you slow down your shutter speed, and you just move the lights around. In this case, I think I took this through a car window, and yeah, so I just do a very slow shutter speed and just move my camera around to get those effects. And then in post-processing, I kind of made it purple. This one here is just close-up of bubbles. And yeah, I did some post-processing to make it look the way it does. And this is just close-up of this is a broom. Yeah, a multicolored broom. So yeah, that's just close-up of the fibers. Bubbles again. But yeah, it looks very interesting to look at, and you can really see this being used as a background of some sort. And this sells all the time on Shutterstock for me. This here is water droplets on a CD to give that whole colored effect that you're seeing. You might be able to guess what this is, but it's just an extreme close-up of a zipper, and it looks very interesting. But like I was saying at the start, this is something you might go your entire life without really giving it a close look. Yeah, just look at the intricacies of the zipper. This is another one that sells all the time, and let's see. Okay, so over here on Envato Elements, we have just a fabric, all the time seller, and yeah, you can see this being used for a background again. And then we have blurred lights. This isn't really abstract, it's just a close-up of a circuit board. But yeah, it's very interesting. Just look at it. Look at all the details. That's very interesting to look at. More blurred lights. This is glitter, and just depending on how you shine the light at it, you get different effects. And a water droplet. This was a fun shoot to do. You got to get the timing right in order to get this moment. There are devices out there that enables you to time it correctly, but I find that to be it's not as fun, as trying to achieve the timing on your own. Anyway, so the true purpose of this video is to just edit some close-up stock photos, abstract type images and then keyword and upload them to the stock agencies. All right, so let's get to it. I have a set of 29 images here that I'm gonna edit. So I'm gonna select all and then open in Lightroom. All right, so as I've said before in previous videos, the name of the game when it comes to stock photography is to be able to churn out as much content as possible while at the same time trying to maintain some level of quality, right? So I'm not going to spend a lot of time editing these images. I'm just going to do basic lighting adjustment and that's about it. So let's see what auto gives us, and that is way too bright. So let's take that down a notch. Alrighty. And I think we can go up a bit more on the vibrancy and a little bit on the saturation. Let's see what a warmer tone does. Yeah, I like it a bit warmer. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Maybe up a little on the texture. About dehaze. Okay, yeah, that looks good. I'm satisfied with that. So we're gonna move on. And by the way, this is just confetti. Yeah, so that's what that is. And moving on to this image, these are bamboo skewers. Yeah, it looks fairly interesting from that angle. So let's go ahead and see what auto does again. For some reason, it just likes to over brighten things. But yeah, that initial edit there is good. I think we can go up on texture, clarity, and a little bit of dehaze to make it pop a little. Yeah, so that's good there. That's up, down the highlights a little, shadows, good there. Yeah, so I'm satisfied with that. Yeah, and you know, how many times have you ever stopped to really look at the ends of a skewer to this level of degree, right? Um, yeah, not often. So that's what I'm saying with macro photography is that it just enables you to see the world in a whole different way, and you know, just appreciate the details that goes into anything pretty much. All right, so I'm satisfied with that level of edit. So I'm just going to copy it and paste it over to this one. And that looks good to me. Moving on. So what you're looking at here, you might be able to guess. These are drills. So micro drills to be specific. And some of these are really small. When we get to the next images, you'll see just how small these are. Let's go ahead and auto, and obviously again way too bright. I think I'm gonna go a little bit more artistic on this one. I'm gonna lower. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, that looks good. Oh, let's not reveal things ahead of time. Make it a little bit on the colder side. Yeah, so that's looking good. Good. Yeah, it gives you that, you know, cold metallic look. Um, let's see. Okay. Yeah, I like that edit right there. Quick full screen. Yeah, that's pretty nice. All right, so let's copy that, and I'm gonna paste it over to these images that are fairly similar. Yeah, those look good. And moving on, we have some, this is these are like little glitter particles on an object. That's what that is. Let's do a quick auto. Lower the exposure a little. I also want to go a little artistic on this one, so I'm just going to paste the edit from the previous image, and boom, that looks perfectly fine. I'm going to stick with that, and we're going to move on. All right, so we have some form of fabric here. Auto, way too bright. All right, looks good. Moving on. These are still the bamboo skewers again. Yep. Yeah, that looks good there. Let's lower this up on the texture a little. Clarity is nice. So before, after, that looks pretty good. Copy, and I'll paste it over onto this one here, and we can up the exposure just a little. All right, so next, so here you can kind of see how small one of those drill bits is. There's different sizes, but this is one of the smaller ones, and it's very small. If it's not obvious, that is my finger, and that's my fingerprint there. Let's copy this edit and paste. And here you can see it in comparison to a hair follicle or hair. And yeah, so it's very small. Copy this edit, paste, paste. This is a thread, a piece of thread. And you can see it's about the same size as a common piece of thread, and that's not like a particularly thick piece of thread. It's just normal thread. But yeah, pretty small. Copy, paste. Some type of fabric again. Let's paste from the last one. That looks good. Yeah, so that looks very abstract and interesting. And this here, it's what do you call it? Yeah, so this can really benefit from more texture. There we go. So really up in the texture on that one. I'm just going to copy and paste it over to these that are a little similar. And here we're looking at a seashell, and then up. Let's colorize this a little bit. I'm just playing with the color calibration and the camera settings here. There's no right or wrong in this scenario. It's just to taste. That looks interesting. So before and after, before and after. All right, some more glitter on an object, and I just pasted the last edit that I had in the clipboard, and I'm fine with that there. And so this here, it's a broken piece of knob, so a knurled knob. All right, and I will up the exposure a little. That looks fine. Moving on. I don't think this needs any explanation. let's see what the last edit does. And that looks fine to me. I'm going to up the exposure just a little. And I will copy that and paste. Paste. Perfectly fine. Once again, fingerprint. Let's paste the last edit. That looks fine. And my palm paste. That looks fine as well. All right, so yeah, that's it for these 29 images. Let's go ahead and export. So I'm gonna select all. I'm gonna go to this view, select all of them, and then File, Export, and we're exporting the 29 images, and we're gonna say JPEG, full size, 100% quality. I will keep all of the metadata, and then yeah, export. So choose your location. I'm gonna say pictures folder, and we're in abstract macro. Create a new, edited, create, and export. Depending on the speed of your computer, this will take some time. All right, so while that's exporting, let's go ahead and open up MetaPhotoAI so we can get ready to keyword those images. All right, so that's done exporting. Let's hop over to MetaPhotoAI and we'll go to the directory browser. Let's see, pictures folder, abstract macro, and edited. And those are loading in. Okay. Looks good. All right, so those are good. So there we can see all of the edited images. So when it comes to keywording macro and abstract images, that might be the hardest part of doing it for stock photography, is the fact that you kind of have to sit down and think about, you know, how can this image be used, you know. Yeah. And sometimes that's difficult to do, and it can take some time. However, with MetaPhotoAI, the software will automatically do that for you and come up with relevant keywords and use cases for the images. Yeah, so let's see if there's anything that I would like to nudge the AI in a direction. So for these, I will give it a hint that it's for a micro drill. So I'm just gonna select them all, go to image options, and then just say micro drill, and similar here. All right. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. All right, so let's go ahead and batch keyword these, and we'll see what the software comes up with. If we're not satisfied with any of them, we can just regenerate. So let's go ahead and click on batch generate. That will start the batch processing, and that should be done in no time. So we have the first 10 completed, and next 10, and then within a few seconds here we should be done. All right, that's all done. Okay. All right, excellent. So yeah, you might see these little warning things. It's just telling you that the title or description may or may not be too long for a particular agency. That's fine for now. I'm just going to ignore that. Alrighty. By the way, you can turn off these warnings if you want by going to settings, warnings, disable warnings, and then come back, just reload the thing, and you're good to go. So yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with these. Yeah, perfectly fine. Yeah, it did a good job. Yeah, you can see it did identify these as drill bits. Yeah. So let's see, red texture, excellent. And yeah, so yeah, these are good. Perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and generate some categories for these. I selected them all by pressing Control A or Command A on Mac, and I'm gonna use let's do Shutterstock and Adobe stock. All right, so let's generate categories for Shutterstock. Should be done in a second. There we go. Now we have all categories for Shutterstock done. So you can see, look at that category, perfectly good category. All right, so let's do it for Adobe stock. Generate, and give it a second or so. All right, and just like that, we have our categories for Adobe stock. Alrighty. Okay, so now I'm gonna export the CSV for these. So I'll select them all again, and I will say, let's do an Adobe stock CSV, and let's choose to export it and there. All right, so that's exported. Let's also do a Shutterstock, same location, boom. Okay, so we are done with MetaPhotoAI. We can quit. Let's open up the browser. We'll go over to Shutterstock, and we're gonna do Adobe stock. So I'm gonna open up that and come back. All right, so here I am in Shutterstock. You can see I have some images that I've uploaded previously, and I have some pending. So I'm just going to come over here, click on upload, and we will go ahead and drag the assets over. Alrighty. So those are uploading. I will go ahead and fast forward this bit. All right, so Shutterstock is done. Let's go ahead and upload the CSV file such that our categories will transfer over. And let's see. All right, we'll wait for that to process. Okay, so there we go. It's applied to 29 of our images successfully. Just do a quick refresh. All right, so those are good. Let's go ahead and we can see that our categories did transfer over, so we don't need to do anything but submit right now. So I'm going to select some of these here and submit them. I've selected a bunch. Let's go ahead and submit. Excellent. So that 17 has been submitted. Let's head over to Adobe stock. We're going to do the same. Let's drag over the content. Once again, you can see some previous uploads. So I will fast forward this bit and come back. All right, so upload is complete. You can see that one of the files did not get uploaded because it's too large. These images were taken with a an R5, a 45 megapixel camera. So the file sizes can be a bit large at times. I guess I could have reduced the quality. Okay, so yeah, this one is 50 megabytes. Yeah, so these are fairly large files. Let's go ahead and upload the CSV. All right, so perfect. It's been applied. All right, and you can see that these are all ready to go. We have the green dot signifying that we are okay to submit. So I'm gonna go ahead and say submit all or submit to 46, and then once the dialog comes up, I will select a few that I want. While I'm on Adobe stock here, I do want to address an issue that some of you might notice. So Adobe stock is phasing out FTP upload, meaning that for some of you, you may notice that you do not have this little, FTP thing here. So basically, they're doing that in order to curb mass uploads because they're getting a whole bunch of content. Particularly, they're getting a lot of AI generated content, and they want to limit that a bit. So they're disabling FTP upload for a lot of accounts. So yeah, you might not see this, and you might not be able to upload via FTP for images. I think videos might be okay, but I'm not entirely sure. But I know for a fact they are phasing it out for photos. All right, so let's get back to submitting. And yes, I understand. Okay, so now I'm gonna just deselect them and then select what I actually want to submit. All right, and we'll go ahead and submit those 17. All right, so perfect. So that has been submitted. Excellent. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. I'm gonna wrap up. Yeah, so MetaPhotoAI is available at metaphotoai.com if you want to use it. It's a great tool to use in terms of, getting a lot of stock content out there and, just working smarter in general. Work smarter, right? Not harder. Anyways, metaphotoai.com. There is an ongoing sale at the moment. You'll see that once you head over there. All right, so until next time, have a good one.